So I felt like it's a normal Friday and I was running my errands, and then I get a text from my mom saying DMX died. I immediately teared up, and there's reasons for that. I have never personally met him, but I've known of him for years. Like, my boyfriend in high school used to make me listen to him on repeat, like the Rough Riders album when he was playing like 007 on, was it X? No, Xbox wasn't even back then. So long story short, I have kind of seen him throughout the years. Of course, people know him. He's a huge celebrity. He does music. He's won Grammys. But there's a few things that I wanted to touch on. And because people judge people for doing drugs, they're like, oh, well, poor rich guy. He's got all this money. He's got this and that. Like, I don't feel bad for him, which is extremely sad because money is not everything. And you also don't know where he came from. When I first found out certain things, and I made a list because I didn't want to like go out of order. You know, I like to ramble, but I kind of wanted to give you a breakdown of his life. And you know, people are posting like RIP DMX, RIP, and then they'll probably forget about him and it's just his music. But his life can really teach you a lesson. And for one, you should not judge other people. Okay, so he died today at the age of 50 in White Plains, New York. He was on life support the past 2 days at White Plains Hospital. A week ago, he had a heart attack, and his attorney said he's not sure if it's caused by an overdose. So as of now, we don't know that information. I mean, if somebody does do drugs and they've suffered from addiction all these years and you have a heart attack at 50, it could be from stress, it could be from drugs. I mean, it just makes sense if there's not heart issues in the family for any other reason. So this is where my point is about not judging people. You can't be like, oh, poor rich guy, he just OD, like I don't feel bad for him, or judging him in a certain way because most people don't know his life story and he's shared it throughout the years. And he even said a really good quote that I was going to say at the end. Wow, I didn't write it down, but he basically just said that there's strength in sharing your story and letting it out and not keeping all these secrets. So when I first noticed that I could relate to him and like his pain and have compassion was when he was on couples therapy. It was back in 2012. You guys know I did marriage boot camp. Like, it really is good therapy, even though you see it on TV. You do hours of therapy, even though you only see a few minutes. So on couples therapy, he admitted that his mom used to spank and beat him with an extension cord of the vacuum cleaner. And I remember it was the saddest thing. Like, I watched the show and I cried because he said at one point his mom made him pull down his pants to spank him, and the end of the extension cord like hit him on his dick. And it was like the saddest thing, like, for you to do that to a child. Like, that's not a way to discipline a child or to teach him any better. Like, that's complete abuse. So the person, he also said too that his mom never told him that she loved him. So how do you expect somebody to truly love other people without finding it in themselves or through God or through a mentor to love other people? Because your parents are supposed to be the first ones that love you. His dad was gone and his mom mistreated him. So did her boyfriends, as he claims. And I don't know, guys. It's just a really sad story. He later then told GQ magazine that his mom beat his 2 front teeth out with a broom. And yes, his dad was never around unless he was like to sell paintings. And on marriage boot camp, he made the comment, and a lot of people judged him for this, not knowing why he was saying this, because you only see pieces on reality TV or news. And he said, I cheat, I'm gonna keep cheating, I'm gonna keep mistreating my wife. And it just sounds like this man's crazy. And it's almost like because he was never taught how to love, he's now recreating the cycle of mistreating somebody and not showing them real love when they deserve love, because he was never given that from his mother or father. So even though he loves his wife, he is incapable of showing love because he doesn't know what real love means. To him, the abuse is love. So it's a really sad thing, like the fact that, and some kids act out because they only get attention when they're being bad. So they want to be bad just to get attention. So at the age of 10, he was expelled for fighting and throwing chairs at a teacher. He went to boarding school for 8 months. He got kicked out because he started a fire with a roommate. He then was sent back home. He ran away from his mom and her boyfriends because they were basically abusing him. He slept in Salvation Army clothing bins at night. Guys, this is so sad. Could you imagine being a child, early teenagers, having to run away from home from abuse and sleeping in Salvation Army bins? Like, it's so sad. And if you watch Love After Lockup, you'll see a lot of these stories come from abuse, which is why they're now in prison, and it's just like a never-ending cycle. Okay, so DMX wrote the song Slippin', which he mentions group homes and institutions prepared my ass for jail, which I completely believe, because group homes and stuff, there's a lot of abuse. People are getting government money to take care of children, and they're not doing the right thing with it. Like, at least if you're going to be a foster parent and you're getting this money from the government that taxpayers pay, then take care of those children and make them good human beings to make the world a better place, not to abuse them to get the government money. And then now you're basically creating criminals because you're abusing them and not teaching them how to be good or to love other people. Okay, he started getting comfort by befriending stray dogs, and he later on opens up about a lifelong love of dogs and how he stole his first puppy. So at the age of 14, and guys, I don't want to really repeat this part because I don't know how much of this is true. When I started to look online, I don't know if the story got misconstrued. I don't know if it's somebody else trying to get famous and trying to get a record deal and noticed by saying he's that person. So I don't know if DMX lied. I don't know if somebody is acting like they're the person to get attention in interviews. But yeah, I'm just gonna say what DMX said. DMX said at the age of 14, Reddy Ron, who was 30, which was like a brother to him, would rap and let him beatbox. And he said that he was 14 and Reddy Ron was 30. So there's a 16-year age gap. And he said one day Ron said, let me beatbox for you and then you rap. And DMX went to the bathroom. He came up with his first rhyme. And he said that Reddy Ron introduced him to the best part of his life, which is rap. And he said everything in his life is blessed with a curse. At the time, he didn't drink, he didn't smoke. He was only 14. They did a robbery. They made some money. And then he gave money to his friend and said, go buy you something nice for your birthday. And apparently he came back with a blunt that was laced with crack. And he then smoked it. He said he couldn't focus on the money anymore. It really fucked him up. And he said a monster was born. Okay, when I looked up Reddy Ron online, I don't know who the true Reddy Ron is. I hope DMX isn't lying about the age gap. And I also hope that this Reddy Ron guy is the real Reddy Ron and he is not lying about who he is just to get interviews and attention and things online. So I actually want to do the research to find out who Reddy Ron is and see how old he is and see if lies are being told about him, because that's not fair for him as well. He made the statement like, don't, just because somebody's a celebrity or they're famous, you can't believe everything that they say. And I completely agree with that, because I've had celebrities, wannabe celebrities, not A-list, say things about me and they were complete lies. And of course, some people run with it and they believe it. And then when people really see me and know who I am and have seen me over the past 10 years, they know that Sarah's a genuine person. She would never do that. She doesn't come from hate. It's not in her character to do things like that. So with the Reddy Ron situation, I'm going to look into it because I don't want to give misinformation. But either way, the story about DMX is extremely sad. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for his family. That's no way a child should be raised. You shouldn't abuse a child. I am also against drug use because it does put you in a different mental state. And yeah, that's basically what I just wanted to say about it, guys. It's like really, really sad. And when I drove home today, I was literally in tears about the situation. One of the things that he said, which was the last thing that I read, was in 2020, he told GQ, I just need to have a purpose because God has given me that purpose before I was in the womb. So I'm going to fulfill that purpose, whether I want to or not. And it really touched me because I feel like that's where I am in my life. Everybody does have a purpose. And it's about finding what your true purpose is. Don't judge others, finding your own purpose, helping others, and just overall being a good person, because the more you're good, the more good is going to be in the world, because you can't change other people, but you can change yourself. So I hope that this story was enlightening to you and shared a little bit about why he had a drug addiction and that he's not a bad person, and that there's a real person and soul behind the music and the chaos and what you see on TV, because what you see on TV and the internet is not the whole story. If you guys have any comments or questions, write them below. And if you do know anything about the real Ready Ron, then please put that in the comments below too, because I would like to find this guy. And if he was accused of something, then I don't believe that's right. And I would like to interview him as well, because I don't like the lies, guys. And the devil is a liar. Okay, until next time, I love you guys. Mwah. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video.